So, good evening and welcome to our Testimonial Tuesday for Tuesday, August 23rd, 2016. My name is Vicki Drobness and I'm a Ruby Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I am thrilled to have my Ruby sister, Elizabeth Ours, with me. Elizabeth is you're in South Carolina or Georgia?
I'm in Georgia.
Georgia, okay, but I knew it was down near the coast there. We are Ruby Sisters on our Plexus team under our upline, Charlotte Seams, who's a Sapphire. And Elizabeth has such an amazing story when it comes to Plexus that I want her to share that with y'all, and some things that some challenges that she's faced that have been unique but yet not unique to those of us who have elderly parents that we're dealing with. So she's going to talk about that in just a moment, but first I'm going to share my screen so I can go over our to go over our disclosure, make sure that we are compliant there. So Elizabeth, can you see that there?
Not yet. It may not. Mine's loading for some reason.
It says mine is paused. I wonder why it is paused.
Okay. Yeah, it's paused.
Yeah, let me stop the share on that. Let me try a different thing here. I'm just going to do my desktop there, and we'll go from there. And you see it there?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. All right. All right, so let me go in and do our disclosure. This presentation is brought to you by independent Plexus ambassadors and is not sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. Any statements made have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Plexus products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Plexus makes no guarantees on income, as such your representations may be misleading. Your success depends on your effort, commitment, and skill, and leadership abilities and how effectively you exercise those qualities. See the Plexus income disclosure for any more details. So as you are thinking about listening to Elizabeth's story, be thinking about who do you know? Who do you know who is maybe dealing with some of the things that Elizabeth has dealt with? And so write those names down because you may be able to share this with them and offer them hope. So I'm going to stop my sharing there, and I'm going to turn it over to Elizabeth. So I'm going to mute myself after I go ahead and get started. So Elizabeth, first thing I would ask is that to tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you have many children, and then what attracted you to Plexus? What got you started in it?
Okay, thanks, Vicki. I appreciate you asking me to share today. And my life has been really crazy, but yet I'm still always grateful for an opportunity to share about Plexus with others. And I joined Plexus in June of 2014, and I don't know what it was. A post by Charlotte just popped off the screen and into my heart is all I can say. And she's probably, I know I've seen her post before, but we've been friends for a long time online, and so I've probably seen other Plexus posts, but I think I had scrolled past them. I'd ignored them. But that one was meant for me. And it was talking about how she was doing with the business. So I really joined for the business more so than the products. And we had had some financial setbacks, and I knew my husband was discouraged because we bought a new house and we had to replace the roof, and then we had to replace the septic system and put a whole new drain field, but to dig up the whole backyard, put a whole drain field in it. That is very expensive. And he was discouraged. And I was like, what can I do? How can I help him? And I saw the post by Charlotte about how well she was doing with Plexus and what a great business opportunity it was. And so I contacted Charlotte, and then I tried a 3-day trial, and then I jumped right in with Plexus. So that's how I got started.
Wow, and that I love how the posts that Charlotte was sharing at the time, the other ones we just kind of scroll by, but there was one that was meant for us to see and how it changed both of our lives forever. So tell us what you are, what some of the things that Plexus has changed for you, and particularly how it's helped you build a business that you are able to help take some of the pressure off of your husband, and then some of the challenges that may be unique to you, but maybe not to somebody else.
Well, I know that summer when I got started in June, I was just tired. I'm a busy mom of a large family and a lot of responsibility, and so I was really tired, and I lacked the initiative I need to tackle projects like cleaning out closets and things. And once I started on Plexus, I was amazed by the energy that I had. I was cleaning out closets. I was painting rooms. I was just tackling these projects around the house that had needed done for a long time, just because I had that extra energy and motivation and just a good feeling. You know, I don't know if I can put my finger on it exactly, but it was just like a sense of well-being that gave me the oomph I needed to tackle the extra things in life when my days were already so full. And that's really the main thing that I love about Plexus. And I know over the last year, I've had a lot of extra challenges because my mom has been on hospice for almost 4 years now. And it's just been a roller coaster up and down with her near death and then recovering all during this time. But it really got intense. Starting in November, she had a heart attack, very severe heart attack, and wasn't expected to live to the end of the year. And then in January, she had a stroke that has left her paralyzed on one side and was given 2 weeks to live, but she's still alive now. So from that time on, my sister and I took turns a month at a time living with my parents in Greenville, South Carolina, and helping out there. So Plexus, the products really helped me during that time physically because I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. What sleep I did get was in a recliner by my mom's bed at night, you know, with one ear listening out for her the whole time. So I don't think I could have made it through the days without my Plexus Slim, you know, and the X Factor too. Both of those I think really gave me the energy, and it helped my body, you know, when stress can really take its toll on your body. And I know that the products really helped me just be able to withstand the stress that I've been under for the past several months. So I really appreciate that with Plexus. It's boosted my body, you know, strengthened it, and helped to make it through this rough patch. So do you want me to go ahead and talk about the business side? Or?
Yeah, I would love that. I would say you mentioned Slim and X Factor. Are those the only products that you take, or what other products do you take?
No, I take the gut health, of course, the bio and bio cleanse, and then I also take the Mega X at night. It helps me get a great night's sleep. And then since convention, when they introduced Edge, I've been taking the Edge and loving the extra energy and mental clarity from the Edge. But during most of my journey at my parents' house, I did not have the Edge. So.
Yeah, and the Triplex and the X Factor, we refer to those as the Fab Four, and they are fabulous. And I have seen adding in the Mega X. I think I've seen it referred to as the Fab Five. To be able to add those in there as well, and that does make a huge difference. And I'm like you, I've loved what Edge has done for me since convention, and I have not been dealing with nearly the stress that you've been dealing with, but to know that it has helped someone who has been dealing with some family stress and having to in a sense, like you said, always be on, not really getting a lot of rest, and yet still healthy. And you look beautiful. So I would never know that you were not getting that you were under stress. I would never guess that. So, but yes, I would love to hear about the business, and especially how it's helped you during this time.
Well, you know, a lot of people have wondered how I was able to keep growing my Plexus business during this time of being off and on at my parents' house for a month at a time. And, you know, how I even ranked up to Ruby during that time. I ranked up to Ruby in April while I was at my parents' house. And so I wrote down a few things that have helped me. First of all is you have to have a compelling why. And, you know, I told you that at the very beginning about, you know, the financial pressure that my husband was under. And, you know, all these years I've been at home raising 10 children, home educating. So we've been a one-income family with a very large family. And so it puts a lot of financial pressure, you know, on the husband. And I just really, my heart is to relieve some of that financial pressure on my husband. And right now he's saying he's going to be at least 70 before he retires. And so that's another part of my why is I want to help him to retire, you know, in the near future and to be able to have some time at home. So, and, you know, helping him pay off debt, relieve financial pressure, and retire. That's my main why. So that's compelling. And anytime I've thought about quitting or letting up, you know, that comes back to me. I can't. I've just got to keep going. And so I think having a compelling why is really the first thing you need to keep going during life's ups and downs. And life has ups and downs for all of us. You know, I'm not the only one, of course. Okay, the second thing is, and I learned this from Charlotte. Charlotte is so amazing with her mindset training. And I learned to not have a victim mentality. You know, we can just say, oh, poor me. I have it so much harder than everyone else. You know, I have to do this, you know, care for my parents, or, you know, whatever it is that's making it hard for me. That's a victim mentality. Instead, you know, we can choose to have an overcomer mentality. And so that's what I've done. You know, I've just chosen that I'm going to overcome these challenges. And one of the things we've learned is that leaders are problem solvers. And so I've just chosen, I want to be a leader. You know, I really want to grow. I've grown so much in this area through the training I received through Plexus. And so I'm really growing into my leadership skills, and I want to be a problem solver, and I want to be an overcomer. And, you know, one of the things I was thinking about is when we watch diamond documentaries, or if we watch a story of a great Olympic athlete, we're not inspired by the people that just succeeded and had it easy, right? We're inspired by the people that overcame. They won despite great odds against them. And that's what really inspires us. And so I realized if I can overcome despite the challenges, I can inspire someone else. And that's, you know, one of the things that kept me going. And just thinking about the people that inspire me because they overcome, and I want to do that for others as well. And the other thing, and I also have been encouraged in this from Charlotte, is to have a spirit of gratefulness. You know, we all have problems, and we can complain, and we can feel sorry for ourselves, and we can be discouraged. And some days I have fallen into those thought patterns, I have to confess. But I've tried to maintain a spirit of gratefulness and just count my blessings and see all the things that I have to be thankful for. And that makes a big difference in our mentality. And, you know, I can look at the things that have stood in my way from maybe ranking up as quickly as I thought, and, you know, doing things the way I planned, and I could be discontent. Or I can just be grateful that I have Plexus at all, and be grateful for my team that's continued to work and continued to support me when I haven't been able to be quite as actively involved. And so that's what I've done for the most part, is to just choose gratefulness. And I have a lot to be grateful for with the situation with my parents and my sister, because if my sister hadn't been willing to take turns with me, I would have been there full time, away from, you know, 6 hours away from my family. But my sister took turns with me, so we had a month on and a month off. That's something to be grateful for, you know, and being grateful for the privilege of being able to help my parents. So that's what I've tried to do, is focus on the positive and things to be grateful for. And then another thing that was really big for me was just deciding I wasn't going to make excuses. And if you just Google that, I mean, there are so many great quotes, and I've been collecting quotes on that, you know, I'm not making excuses. And I just heard one recently that said we have to be stronger than our excuses. And that's what I determined. I'm just going to be stronger than my excuses. I have plenty of reasons why it's hard for me to do this, but I can just hear Les Brown saying, it's hard, but we can do hard. And I would tell myself that. This is hard, but I can do hard. And you know, just remind me that I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. And those were two things that really stood out in my mind. And I recently saw this quote by Les Brown that I really like a lot. He says, decide to become a no matter what person. Decide you will make your dream become a reality no matter what. It does not matter if you run out of money or if life catches you on the blind side. It doesn't matter if you experience disappointments, failures, or setbacks. You have what it takes to bounce back. Your gifts, talents, and abilities require that kind of resolve. The next moment can change your life for good. Be open to that. Do not give up. Make it happen no matter what. So that's just the attitude that I've had, is I'm going to do the best I can to make this happen no matter what. And then the final thing that I wanted to say was, you know, we do have to accept reality. And the reality for me is it may take longer to get to the next strength because of the time I've had to pour into my parents. And we just a month ago moved my parents into my house here in Georgia. And that's been way more overwhelming than I imagined it would be, to have their care. My mom is bedridden. She's paralyzed on one side. So we had to meet all for physical needs, you know. And then my dad has some dementia going on, and I've had to come alongside and help him with a lot of things. And fortunately, the Lord has sold their house. They're closing on their house tomorrow. So I've been helping them with all the closing documents and getting things notarized and faxed. And, you know, it's just a lot to it. And then my sweet husband, he went with some of my kids this past weekend. And then my sister and brother-in-law, they emptied out my parents' house. But a lot of that stuff ended up at my house yesterday. So we've been, you know, overwhelmed again with just boxes everywhere, things to sort through. So it's definitely taking a toll on my time. You know, I don't have as much time right now to invest in Plexus, but I haven't quit. You know, and I'm still, one of the things I do while I'm unpacking boxes, I listen to trainings on YouTube. I can be inspired by other people and I can be learning, you know, as I'm doing the things that I need to do around the house. Then I try to, there have been days I haven't made contacts, but as much as possible, I try to at least contact one new person a day and follow up with someone. And I try to keep checking in on my team and posting in my Facebook group. I try to keep up with the posts on the other Facebook groups, like Charlotte's group, and we have some chats going on. I try to keep up with those. And I found that that's the key, because there were a few days when we were so intensely involved with the move that I wasn't able to do that. And you start feeling cut off and isolated so quickly. I was surprised how quickly I felt isolated and like I didn't know what was going on. And so I learned how valuable it is to just take a few minutes every day and check in the Facebook groups, listen to training, you know, just be involved in the chats. It doesn't take that much time, and usually no matter how busy we are, we need a little bit of downtime where you just sink into a chair, you can catch up with those groups, and it's a world of difference. It just keeps you plugged in, keeps you inspired and motivated. So I have definitely done that and continue to do that. Every time I can, I have a YouTube training playing, and that keeps me involved and inspired. And I'm just determined that I'm going to do this no matter what.
Wow. You inspire me so much, Elizabeth, and you have no idea how much I needed to hear some of this stuff. So I knew that your words would be divinely inspired, and that you would say what everybody who will listen to this needs to hear. I love that, and of course I love Les Brown. I mean, if anybody is an example of not letting your circumstances dictate what your life is going to be like, he is, and he's so inspirational, and I love that. I like that. Decide to become a no matter what person. That's inspirational on that. I don't even know if I want to go in and ask any other questions, because you've just covered it all. It's just been such a beauty of inspiration and motivation and sharing from your heart that I can't top it. I want to go back and watch it now. And so you have just done such a wonderful job, and I want to thank you for doing this for me, because I know how busy your time is. And I will agree with you, staying plugged in. I've been traveling, and I have not been as plugged in as I would like to, and I can tell a difference. It does start to affect you. And so I encourage anybody who's watching this who is, even if you're not with Plexus, but stay plugged into a community, because it's so easy with our lifestyles to get isolated. We think that, we need some downtime, and yes, you do, but we also need community. Community is so important, and be that family or your community you live in, or even an online community. There is value in this. Yes, you can waste time, but there is so much value in this, because otherwise I would never have met Elizabeth if it hadn't been for online. And we've met in person several times, but we would have never become friends and stayed in touch if it wasn't for Facebook. So there are values to social media. Like anything, it can be used or abused. Anything can be. Water can be used or abused. So thank you so much. Do you have any parting words that you want to say? If somebody was looking at this and deciding, well, whether or not they should get started with Plexus, either for the products or for the business, what would you tell them?
It's just so worth it. The products are amazing. The business opportunity is amazing. And the relationships, like you were talking about, the relationships that we've built with one another is just, they're really amazing and encouraging. And when I've gone through some of these difficult times, there's so many people who have been messaging me that they're praying for me and they're thinking about me, and maybe they went through something with their parents. And so, you know, that's been a treasure. And also another treasure for me personally was when I started Plexus, I really didn't have self-confidence, and I didn't think I could do this, and I didn't think I could run a business and be successful, and just lots of things. Speaking in front of people, doing a video like this, I did not think I could do this. But, you know, the Lord has really used it in my life to stretch me and grow me, and I like the person that I'm becoming because of this Plexus opportunity. And one of the greatest words of encouragement I got was from my husband, because at the beginning he was very skeptical and he made fun of the pink drink. And, oh yeah, Plexus solves all the problems. You know, he was constantly making fun. And it discouraged me at the beginning. And, you know, one side of me was like, oh, I should just give up, you know, not even do this. And then I'm like, no, I am doing this for him, and I'm going to show him I'm going to be successful. And so I stuck with it. And then when I promoted to Ruby, you know, he told me how proud he was of me, and he totally loves his Plexus products. He said he works very long days, and he said he couldn't work the hours he works without Plexus. And he said he feels better than he's felt in years. So he's all behind the products. And now I really feel his support behind me. And he said he was really proud of me, and he could see how I've been growing personally and becoming more confident. And he was really impressed with that. So that encouraged me so much. And I'm so thankful for the whole package, the products, the business opportunity, and the personal growth, and the relationships.
I know. There's so many benefits to it, and I had said, I mean, yes, I'm going to love having my new Lexus, and I'm going to love going to Hawaii, but the friendships have been the best perk of this, because that's something that gives to you every day, and it's been phenomenal. I remember wanting a group of friends and girlfriends, to be honest, because I didn't have that many girlfriends at the time that understood me and got me and were supportive of what I was doing. And I've gotten that with Plexus. And so I encourage everybody to, you know, look at it beyond losing weight. Look at it beyond getting a gut problem under control. Yes, those are important, and that may be your stepping stone into Plexus. But what you become and the person that you become from building your business is, you won't get that from any other place, and you won't get the compensation plan during it. You won't get that type of training and that type of encouragement from any other place. And I've worked in corporate, I've worked in school systems, I've worked for nonprofits, I've worked in all kinds of places, and you won't get it. It's not available the way that it is through Plexus. So, Elizabeth, thank you for your time. I want to honor your time, because I said we keep it at about 20 or 30 minutes, and we're right at about 30 minutes. So thank you for joining us. I am so blessed by your friendship and you taking the time to do this. So glad that some things are balancing a little bit back out for you, and not having to do the drive back and forth, because I know we've done that. We did the 8-hour drive between Nashville and Columbia, South Carolina for about a year, and it's wearing on you. But thank you so much. You are a beautiful person inside and out, and I'm so blessed to call you my friend. And I am so thankful for you doing this. I'll have this put up shortly. So if you're watching this and you want to check out more about Plexus, and if somebody's invited you to watch this, go back to that person and talk with them. That's the Plexus way, is you want to talk to the person who introduced you to Plexus and let them help you. But if you happen to stumble across this, then, you know, ask me, ask Elizabeth. We'll be happy to help you get started with Plexus, with both the product and the business, because we are on the best team in all of Plexus.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So, Elizabeth, thank you for your time. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful evening, and go Plexus.
Thank you.